This is Fast Eddie Chambers and you're watching Seconds Out.
Hi, this is Jonathan Scharger. Just moving on quickly to boxing. Obviously, you know, you'll be kind of front row when one of the biggest fights, I think Eddie Hearn's labelled it the biggest fight in British boxing history.
In attendance figures, if you go over 70,000,
it will officially.
Microphone over here. Yeah, basically, White City, 1933, Jack Doyle against Jack Peterson, the Irishman, Jack, the gorgeous Gale, Joyce against Doyle, against Jack Peterson, the Welshman, for the British heavyweight title. 70,000 at White City Stadium, the old Olympic 1908 stadium. But Doyle got lubricated in a pub around the corner. He was 19. He got lubricated on alcohol that kind of ahead of the fight, and was disqualified early in the fight for low blows on Peterson. That was 70,000. That's the most ever, we believe, at a British fight.
Do you think realistically, I mean, there's going to be a real significant hype train and fanfare surrounding this fight? Will that fight surpass 70,000, do you think?
Yeah, I think it probably will, actually. I think when Sky Sports News and Sky Box Office, when the whole machine rolls into effect, it normally does do very well. I think Eddie Hearn's to be applauded for being very ambitious. And I think it will, because it was incomplete, that first fight. So, and this happens with rematches.
Absolutely. And do you think, I mean, just sort of crossing over with MMA and boxing, obviously you're now, you know, you host Beyond the Octagon, and that's a prominent show in co-host Beyond the Octagon.
I've hosted it once.
With, I suppose,
Christian O'Connell and Caroline.
Yeah, absolutely, with Christian and Caroline. So, just in terms of that's kind of essential in terms of kind of broadcasting MMA to the mainstream consciousness and getting that platform. In terms of, obviously, it's a relatively young sport compared to boxing, we all know that. How far off do you think we genuinely are from two British mixed martial artists being able to have a main event at Wembley Stadium, and for that to be even feasible?
I think in fight sports, the opportunity might present itself in 6 months' time. It might be Ross Pearson could win. You know, Ross Pearson could win. He could beat. Let's say Melvin Gillard beats Michael Johnson, and Pearson beats Melvin Gillard, and then for some reason someone drops out and Pearson gets a fight with, let's have a think, like, I don't know, Gil Melendez for some reason. No, it won't be Gil, will it? With say Donald Cerrone, and he beats Cerrone 7 or 8, 5 or 6 in the division. So he gets that. Conor McGregor defeats Cub Swanson and moves up to lightweight. Ireland against England. The hordes come over from Ireland. Conor's headline Dublin in July. Ross is on a tear. Half the northwest want to come down and see it. It's always plausible. It's always plausible. But Froch and Groves, 5 months ago, Froch and Groves couldn't have filled Wembley. You know? This is the beginning. This is the beginning of. I'm not a big fan of those massive stadium fights, by the way, because I don't think the atmosphere is the same. But how far away are we? You know, there's scenarios like that. I know I'm dreaming, aren't I? But in real terms, on Saturday night, March the 8th in London, we will have seen BT Sport show it to their subscribers. We will have seen, and they're growing, and they will grow exponentially. We've seen Channel 5 for the first time, so we've got a dual cast. You know, Tyson Fury regularly got 1.5 million, 2 million people on Channel 5. So we could see a big audience thinking, oh, this is interesting. And my understanding is, I can't confirm this absolutely, but I think we're probably going to see the start here of Channel 5 maybe doing all these events as well, on maybe a time lag, a time delay with BT Sport, because it's an hour later on. So, because BT Sport have obviously bought the rights. So, and by the way, I'm not involved in any of these things. I just present the show, and you know, I help to put the show together, and I'm involved in bringing the fighters on and getting in contact with fighters, things like that. and making it a bloody good show, you know, and everyone works really hard on that show. I'm really proud of that show, by the way. I don't give a monkey's what anyone thinks out there doesn't like it. I like to listen to views about it, but people that go, oh my god, that guy's a dick, it just doesn't help. And if they're real fans, they go, I'd really like it if you had 200 people in there rather than 100. So suggestions are always welcome, yeah? And if people don't think we're really self-critical or I'm really self-critical, I hate making mistakes. It's live TV, we do it, you know? And it's tough. But I think that with the dual cast, it's a brilliant scenario. BT Sports logo is going to be on the Octagon canvas as well. So it all helps. It's a synergy, you know.
Absolutely. Just sort of jumping again back to boxing, Eddie Hearn, I mean, you know, yeah, no problem. I think I've only got 2. So, but Eddie Hearn. So Eddie's obviously quite young in the boxing promoting game. I think he's only been doing it, say, 3 or 4 years now. But he's made. He's been around it all his life, and he seems to have made real dramatic strides and drastic inroads into the kind of UK and European boxing scene. Do you think, with his roster of fighters currently, that he could become one of the, you know, the major global promoters for boxing?
I think he already is, and I think, you know, you talk to Dana White about what's key in the UK. He needed the right players in position, but also, the key thing is the TV deal. Eddie Hearn's got the TV deal. The UFC have got the right TV deals in place in the UK now. Eddie Hearn has got the TV deal with Sky Sports. They got massive leverage. He's reopened box office for Froch and Groves. I think he's doing a tremendous job. I like Eddie. I a lot of time for Eddie. I mean, he's Fast Eddie he's got the gift of the gab. He's very charming. He's very open with us in the media. He's brilliant to deal with. I've got a lot of time for him, and I think he's very ambitious, and he's shown that in recent times. I think sometimes, the test of him will be with Anthony Joshua. 18 minutes. The test of him. I'm just seeing how long we're going. The test of him. It's kind of a shame now we haven't got Kugan Cassius coming and bombing in this one, haven't we? With Eddie Hearn, we have got those two heads there, because I'm always busting into theirs. And Kugan encourages that, by the way. You can ask that question. The thing is, no, Eddie's doing a great job, but the test will be how he develops Anthony Joshua, whether they can, the Olympic super heavyweight champion, whether he can truly hold him back long enough for him to develop long enough to develop in that way that can take him to a world title.
I was going to say, there is, in terms of the heavyweight picture, you're already hearing them bandying around names like for him to fight Matt Skelton and people like that. And then obviously
Saturday night, Matt Skelton, Sam Sexton, Michael Sprott. Yeah, okay, by the end of the year, but once he's fought those, it's difficult. Audley Harrison he might be ready for in 20 fights, maybe sooner, but it's that leap then.
And when do you feasibly think he could be challenging for world honours? I mean,
About 4 years' time. I would wait for 3 or 4 years' time.
Do you think there's that many heavyweights out there? Do you think it's possible to slow him down that much in terms of his progress?
It's not slowing him down. It's, what's the point? What's the point in you having my job if you're not ready for it?
See what he did there.
Yeah. What's the point? And boy, you hassled me on the internet for a long time to try and get my job. Or to carry my bag even, you would have been prepared at the time. You're a very good writer, by the way. I enjoy your stuff. It's very good. Very, very good.
Thank you, Gareth. That's very kind.
Yeah, your interviewing techniques are pretty good as well. But the thing is, take your time with Joshua. I think he had 34 amateur fights before he stepped into the Olympic Games, or stepped into being pro, sorry. He's a baby. It's a baby, and things go wrong for heavyweights with one shot, so.
And then you alluded to it before.
More than one. You've gone over 2 questions.
This is the last one, I promise. So you alluded to it before with the kind of Kugan's IFL interviews with Eddie. You've made some very amusing cameos on there.
Very nice of you to say.
Yeah, absolutely, very enjoyable. I've enjoyed them. When are we going to see you on IFL TV as well, in your own interview?
What have
you had one with IFL TV that has bypassed me?
When IFL gets big enough, when Kugan gets big enough, when he's not just the young reporter of the year, when he gets a decent haircut, when he stops claiming that he's my bastard son, when he gives me the time of day, when he loses a bit of weight, and I know that the answer is going to be to that one. No, I think Kugan's done a brilliant job as a cub reporter, and now has become quite. I don't want to call him the Ariel Helwani of boxing, but because it's very different. He's done a great job. Ellie Seck back in the United States has done a great job in a similar way. No, Kugan's a fixture on the scene. He's very modern. Video journalism is a new thing. I applaud it. I do a little bit of it myself. If I could find a good enough assistant, I might have a video with me the whole time. I'd love to have a camera guy with me the whole time, because I could get my work out there so quickly, because I do love to talk.
I could audition for that role, Gareth.
Well, as I said, that was just an invite, really. But this is the audition for it. I mean, any time if he wants to interview me. Listen, it's much more relaxed on the boxing circuit. People are less critical. I mean, people really criticise me for dive bombing with him and say it's disrespectful. But the truth is, I really enjoy being around fight sports, and I enjoy the other journalists around. And my advice would be to aspiring MMA journalists as well is just remember that little rivalries are great, but you might be criticising people who might be in a position to give you a job one day, and that's a very important thing. And there are people who are not aware of. There aren't that many jobs in MMA media. There aren't that many jobs in boxing media, and it's not easy. And you've got to get on with the other people. And there are openings. Be good to people. That's what I say. Don't be too selfish. Share your stories a little bit. It's what it's about. At the end of the day, it's a bit like with the Rory and the broken hand or the cut hand. I could have written that before the event, and it would have been my story, but it's nice to share that kind of story, because at the end of the day, you want the information out there for the fans. But it's great, just to finish. You said it earlier. Some people might think you've got the dream job. The dream job for me is when you work till you can't work anymore, till you're exhausted, and in an industry where you're passionate about it, and you think it deserves more credence and more coverage, and that's why I do MMA.
Lovely. Well, Gareth, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for finally sitting down with me. Really enjoyed myself. Thank you very much.
Pretty well to stand that whole time as well without sitting down yourself.
Thank you. No, honestly, it's been a real pleasure. Thanks, Gareth.
No, my pleasure, Jonathan.
Very much.